So I grew up eating traditional Chinese food, so I love my rice. I eat rice almost every day growing up, and even now I have to eat it 2 or 3 times a week, or I just don't feel right. Whereas for some of my friends, even though they grew up eating rice, they're actually sick of it. So the dish I'm going to make today is a Chinese dish called mapo tofu, but some people call it mapo tofu and mabo tofu, so there's lots of different ways of pronouncing it. But I cooked this dish a lot when we were living in Japan because eggplant seemed to be one of the cheapest vegetables that was in abundance. So we used to cook it, and it's really, really easy to cook. So I've already chopped up some of the ingredients. So I've got some garlic, onion, eggplant, and spring onions, and some minced pork. And my mum always says to marinate meat first beforehand before cooking it because it seems to add a bit more flavour to it. So her standard are those 3 in terms of soy sauce, sugar and pepper. So whenever I don't know what to put in, I just chuck that in first. So I'm gonna heat it up and we're gonna get going. Okay. I tend to like to kind of follow recipes the first couple of times and then afterwards change it a little bit, or if I can't remember it. Like this recipe, I can't quite remember everything from the start, so I kind of just made it up. Which is the way my mum cooks anyways, because when I first asked her how to marinate the meats and what sauces to use, and I asked her how much, she just said, oh, I don't know, just a couple of splash of the soy sauce in the wok. So what's gone in so far is the minced garlic and then the diced onion, and now I've chucked in the meat. So we're just going to keep browning the meat, and once the meat's a little bit more cooked, I'll put in our eggplant just so that can start cooking down and absorb some of the meat juices that are coming out of the pork.
While Ting's tofu creation bubbles away, food critic Juliet is giving her mum Marcela some direction in the kitchen.
I think it's the Chinese saying that whoever cooks in the kitchen first will always cook in the kitchen. So I thought, and then because my mum she didn't really know how to cook then, no.
She didn't know how to cook?
Something.
Yeah. You know how to cook? What are you talking about?
And my dad was just like, because then my dad didn't really like my mum's cooking. So, but he lived with it, and her cooking's getting better and better each day, and bigger.
Although Juliet is keen to boss her mum around, Dad Jason is clearly no gourmet chef.
Jason in the kitchen? Yeah, he can make instant noodles. He can make some Chinese-style noodles, just boil the noodles, put some eggs and vegetables in, and he can do that.
But sometimes he just does half of it, and then he tells my mum to do the rest.
During the weekday, I do the cooking because I'm working from home. I got Asian Promise website.
I do most of the cooking at home. Yeah, but from time to time, Ian also cooks some Western meal at home, and particularly he's good at dessert. Yeah. Yeah, so if we're going to cook dessert, he will be the one.
He never say he doesn't like my cooking, so I wouldn't say that either. I tell you, sometimes I'm not very keen. I'm sorry. He's not.
When the boys finally make it into the kitchen, it's not only time for some quality father-son bonding, but the cue to reach for the chocolate.
So we're going to be baking a chocolate cake today, and Leah's going to give me a hand. And we've just turned on the oven to 160 degrees. Now we just need to get the cake tin out. So if you could get that out there.
There we go.
Now, put it on number 1 for around about 30 seconds. So this is just to make sure you don't put it on too fast, otherwise all the flour and all the mixture all comes up into your face.
Can you help me hold it?
Hold the bowl.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
So I think mixing is just a bit like the way we've come together as a family, Leah, to be able to mix up the two different cultures to come up with something really special. Do you think that's right?
Yeah. Variety.
Variety, that's right. Makes things much more interesting. Okay, just bring the cake over here, Leah. Careful as you go.
Sure.
And pop it on the top shelf there.
So that one?
Yep, that one there.
Good, I'm wearing these.
It is very hot in there otherwise.
Burning.
Very hot. And do that, and just put the oven gloves back on there.
I'm very lucky to have someone like Richard, and he's very flexible to the food I'm cooking, and again, his attitude to the difference, make our relationship very easy. And no matter what I'm cooking, and he always, accept it and respect it, and appreciate it.
Cheers.
Have a good day.
Even in these busy times in which we find ourselves, families everywhere know that evenings spent around the dinner table are a very special part of their lives.
Do we want to start with the Peking duck? Yeah.
Good food will always bring people together.
I probably would say this is the most important thing in our life. And, this is the time where we show we care about each other, we support each other, we share the knowledge, and we do things together through the dinner tables. We talk about what we learned, what we found, what we're doing, and what they're doing. And, sometimes there are opportunities come through, and then we just work together on that. And most important thing is really just to have these enjoyable moments with the people we love.
We always try to make sure we eat at the dinner table when we can. Sometimes that's not possible, but particularly at weekends, make the effort to sit around together or make sure that we don't just eat and jump up. Ask Leah what he's done at school, find out a bit more about what's been going on, find out about each other's days. And then you find some interesting things that you just wouldn't have found out otherwise.
Everyone likes food, we like food, and we like to have fun over the food, talk over the food. So, it is important. It does bring the family together.
After the break, Marcela and Juliet take us on a journey to the Czech Republic.